My name is Algimantas. I live in a small Eastern European country, Lithuania. It's at the Baltic Sea. I train spiritual teachers. I've set up the living temple and religion of revelation. I did it at the request of Creator. Currently, the temple and the religion has the name of the Paradise Trinity, I am. This is Creator in four personalities. The three sources and centers of the Paradise Trinity and the Aggregate Center and Source, I am. Always written in capital characters. We have just finished the worship service. Today we have been interconnected through the internet while staying at home. Tomorrow we shall be face to face at the temple. Very often I show you this epochal revelation, the Urantia book. It's an enormous book of 2,097 pages of the text, and in addition to it, 50 pages of two contents. So from this book, which is not a human source, it's the source of spiritual beings meant for all humans, for all races and nations. So from this epochal revelation, we come to know what is Creator, what is his evolutionary design, what is creation, how it is being organized and governed, controlled. At least on our world, it might look that everything is in a chaotic disorder. In reality, creation is well and wisely administered and governed, controlled. Everything according to Creator's will. The problem with our country, we are a very strong Catholic country. So our Catholic sect, because Catholicism is a sect of Christianity, but the mother religion of this sect, Christianity, does not exist anymore, as it has split into a great multitude of different sects, into thousands of sects. The Catholic sect is the major sect in the former Christian religion that has been set up by Paul, who originally was a Saul persecuting the followers of Jesus. And only after an episode on the way to Damascus, when he fell off the horse and got blind and scared, what's all of a sudden happened to him, and he felt from within a certain impulse, and he was all frightened and lamented, "Who are you?" And the voice reassured him, I'm the one you're persecuting. And then followed the question, are you Jesus? The response was, yes, am I. But don't be afraid, you will regain your vision. Go on to Damascus. And once he regained his vision, as he was told by Jesus, he was spiritually transformed from within. And he turned into a follower of Jesus' teachings and changed his name into Paul's name. So he was using his own religious experience and understanding of religion, of God, as well as he was versed in the philosophy of Philo and what concerns God, he included into his own Christianity, as well as what was known from the Jewish religion about God. So all these components made up the church that later on was already, well, widely spread Christianity. But, you know, Christianity as the mother religion, well, delivered many, many thousand sects and perished itself as a certain roof for these sects. Why did it happen? Just because human mind has two origins. One of the animal origin. All devices are in this dark, dark mind, while the bright mind is the bestowal of Creator. It's a divine mind that is meant for the spiritual personality. And spiritual personality is an eternal gift of Creator, and by Creator to every mortal. So if the spiritual personality is not yet waked up, it is dominated by the dark mind of the animal origin. And of course, people want to control, even in religion, they want to be the leader, the top, and control the believers. And once there are, say, several authorities, and they cannot, well, go well along together, the conflict is unavoidable. So that's why they simply separate. And this separation turns into another sect. But these guys who set up this sect, they are satisfied. They have some followers, and they have their power, their influence, their desire to control others. And it is against the Father's will, against Jesus' teaching about the brotherhood on the world with one Father, one Creator. And it is also natural that these sects are splitting further on. So, therefore, there are over 40,000 different sects of Christianity at the cost of the annihilation of the mother religion of Christianity. And what is also a very deplorable issue, but at the same time the most ridiculous. The Catholic sect, as back as in 1929, has established even a separate state, which is called Vatican, in the city of Rome. Imagine the state with all its institutions, with their ambassadors being called nuncios in other political states. Where have you heard about any Pope of Rome or the State of Vatican in any other, well, revelation or ancient script, be it the Old Testament or the New Testament? Has there been a single mention of Catholicism or even of the Vatican State? No, not a single word. So why to break the teaching of Jesus that has been recorded even in the New Testament, which in its own turn, well, not the New Testament, but the authors of the New Testament distorted Jesus' teachings, distorted Jesus. So this is like a cascading still down, degrading the New Testament teaching, distorting the teachings of Jesus to a still lower, degrading level with the establishment of Catholic Church, with the establishment of the Vatican State. It's, for me, ridiculous. It's leading to more alienation rather than to brotherhood. Even between different sects in Christianity, there is no any brotherhood. Not in the least. And it shall never be, because what humanity needs is first the Urantia book, epochal revelation, describing the life and teachings of Jesus in detail. Out of the 2,097 pages of the text, almost 800 pages are devoted to the description of Jesus' life and teachings. But what is even more important than this Urantia book, that has been passed to humans from spiritual personalities on high. It's been done in the first third of the 20th century in Chicago. And nobody among the humans knows the exact mode, way, the manuscript in handwriting written style and handwritten by a pencil appeared on the desk. Just imagine. Not a single human knows this technology of the manuscript appearing on the desk. And when humans wanted to find out in which way it might have appeared, so spiritual beings warned them, stop doing it. You shall never come to the true understanding as to how this manuscript had appeared. But rather study what is in this manuscript. So, this is the essence of the epochal revelation of the Urantia book. What is written in this revelation, rather than who is the author or how this book appeared. But what is even more important, look, these books I will show you now. It's a heap of books, a huge bundle. This is the same Urantia book in Lithuanian. I've translated this epochal revelation from English into Lithuanian. It took me almost 10 years to complete the work, completely like in incarceration. I was completely engaged in this process for 10 years of almost ceaseless work. Sometimes I worked for 18 hours without any day off, without any vacation. And it was rather strange when I already got the first copy of the Urantia book in Lithuanian. When I listened to some songs on radio and television, I was very much surprised. These were completely new songs for me. I've never heard them before, because I didn't have the TV set at that time and I didn't need it. It passed as a time that I was involved in this process of translation without even seeing what's going around. But that was a great experience, a bright experience, a highly invigorating experience for my spiritual personality. But when I started communing with Creator Himself directly and receiving His teachings, revelations, so these were the teachings I received. This is the book of Jesus. I speak to you again. The second edition with the supplement. The first edition was as back as in 2008. But I received this Revelation book in 2006. And this book was posted on the website urantia.lt. So then I translated this book into English. Jesus Christ, I speak to you again. This is the books of Creator I've received there. I received these revelations from Jesus. The first one, the eternity of a blink. Eternity of a blink. I made a mistake by trying to translate this title when I presented my spiritual teachings while riding a motorbike, and I said a blink of eternity, which is the usual way that humans might express just eternity, and comparing to a blink. So of course it's a blink of eternity. No, the title has been given by the Father. I asked him just how should I name this book, and he said, okay, do it like this: the eternity of a blink, because you are accustomed to the opposite way of understanding, a blink of eternity. But name the book as Eternity of a Blink. And then no explanation followed. Only after some time I was explained the meaning of this title. Once you are in the blink of a living communion with Creator, so this blink turns, converts into eternity, because you are communing with the source and center of eternity, Creator. While communing with Him, while worshiping Him, while expressing your petition prayers, while asking Him for different things, you are in a sincere communion that elevates you from the environment high above it, elevates even up to Creator Himself, up to the source and center of eternity. So even though it lasts for a certain blink, but this blink becomes eternity. Eternity of a blink, because you deal with the source and center of eternity as a spiritual personality that has originated from the source and center of eternity, from Creator. The second volume, The Living Silence. The third volume, The Love Might, or The Might of Love. And the last four, volume 4, The Paradise Trinity, I Am, You Are Within. You are within. That's great. So Jesus' revelation is also translated into Russian. I speak to you again. And it is translated also in Spanish. And this one, the eternity or eternity of a blink, is also translated into Russian. Unfortunately, if you read in English only, you may read the revelation by Jesus, I speak to you again. It's on our website, urantia.lt, spelling URANTIJA, urantia.lt. On the other hand, were there any need for these books to be translated into English? Maybe they might be translated into English, but so far, not in the offing, because there are no people apart from me who would be able to do it. And I'm just one. Now I'm recording this book, the second volume of Creator's Revelation, The Living Silence, making video recording. That also takes energy and time. So, spiritual teachings are meant for all. And that's important, that there were spiritual teachers. Therefore, I train spiritual teachers. Unfortunately, when I try to convey some of the ideas to Americans, the majority of them rejected all these ideas because they are narrow-minded and they could not understand a broader concept, a broader understanding that without a spiritual teacher, without the living temple, it is impossible to get civilization back to the right track, onto the right track. And this track has been designed by Creator according to his evolutionary plan. Currently, the train is on the wrong track and going the opposite way than the evolutionary plan of Creator has provided that track. So this train should be making a U-turn. Unfortunately, there is no train driver who would be able to do it. So that's why I start creating a totally new civilization on Creator's track. That's only the very first, the very initial step. But that shall be the track that Creator has designed for the whole of creation without any exception. And our planet is not an exception. Only it's a big distortion of Creator's will that has been going on for 200,000 years. So Jesus stopped this revolt against the Father on a higher level. Meanwhile, I, representing Creator as his ambassador to this planet and apostle of Jesus and his partner Nebadonia's apostle to this planet, well, starts creating the civilization according to Creator's evolutionary plan and using the means I've been provided by Creator, Jesus, and Abaddonian. And I'm doing it for your own well-being, for your own benefit. And I know I shall succeed. I shall succeed. Because Creator's evolutionary plan is eternal. It might be delayed, but it cannot be killed, destroyed. No way. I need helpers. I need supporters. I need upholders. Throughout the whole of humanity. I started doing it in Lithuania. Just seeing that Lithuania is a strong Catholic country. They have many rituals, religious rituals, where Jesus is in the center of these rituals. It's a small country, so it doesn't play any role among the divisions of the major political powers on the planet. Nonetheless, I create civilization without political states, without political borders that separate people, nations. Brotherhood cannot be separated. It should be united in Creator, within. It's the spiritual unity. And then the Brotherhood, when one experiences it, is manifesting without, for the benefit of the whole of humanity, of the whole of the nation, of the whole of creation. It's according to Creator's evolutionary plan. And I know what I speak of. And I know I will receive support from other countries as well. Because this is the evolutionary plan of Creator. And I'm doing as well, since I fused mine with His. Therefore, I leave you in my embrace, which is equal to Creator's embrace, as it is coming out of Creator's spiritual love. And I love you.